Dear students, let's start lecture number 13 on the topic watermarking of the course network security. This is our outline. First of all, I revise lecture number 12. Then I'll be explaining importance of watermarking. Then I'll explain working of watermarking with the help of block diagram. Then I'll be explaining important attributes or parameter of watermarking. Then I'll explain different types of watermarking, and then I'll take application of watermarking. Then I'll compare watermarking with steganography, and then finally summary will be explained. Let's get started with lecture number 12. So it was on the topic steganography part 3. This slide shows a comparison between steganography and cryptography. So the basic theme of steganography is cover writing, whereas cryptography basic theme is secret writing. Goal of steganography is secret communication, whereas the goal of cryptography is data protection. Message structure of steganography is not altered while you are using steganography. The message structure will not be changed, while in cryptography method structure will be altered or changed as per the theme of that that scheme. Popularity, steganography, this is less popular as compared to cryptography, relies on optional key, but if used, they would be more secure. Steganography, where in cryptography key is necessary requirement. Supporting principles, so steganography supports confidentiality and authentication, where cryptography supports confidentiality, data integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. Techniques, so spatial domain, transform domain, and model based and ad hoc, where cryptography works on transposition, substitution, string cipher, and block cipher. Data visibility in steganography, there is no data visibility in steganography, where in cryptography data is visible always. For example, if even the intruder gets that wants to access that data, so he can access data, but he cannot get the meaning of that. Implemented on audio, video, and text in steganography, while in cryptography it works only on text files. Attacks on steganography, they are called stegoanalysis, where the attacks on cryptography, they are called cryptoanalysis. Now, this slide shows the combination of cryptography and steganography. Like you can see here, that we have combined both strategies. Like in cryptography, what you do, that you prepare a ciphertext from plain text. You can see here that we have a plain text and we perform the process of encryption on it and get the ciphertext, and then this ciphertext will be embedded in a cover image or an image which you want to send, and then stego image will be created or generated, and then this stego image will be sent to the receiver, where the receiver will get the cipher text and perform the process of decryption on it and get the plain text back. Remember, if you remember, I given you example in my previous lecture, that for example in steganography, what sender does, that it sends send the information inside inside of some other information. So normally the intruder will not able to detect the where the information is stored in that information. But if, for example, if that intruder or a malicious user gets that place, that where you have stored information inside that big or a long information, so if you and if you convert it into ciphertext, he will not be able to get the meaning of that. So with the combination of both technologies, you will get the benefit of both. Like steganography will hide your information inside some other information. So first of all, the intruder will not be able to detect that where your information is located. And in case if he detects that and reaches the information, so as the information is converted using cryptography, so he will not be able to get the theme of that, he will not get the meaning of that information. So this way, by combining both the technologies, you can make your communication more stronger or more reliable. Now, these are the types of Stago system. There are three type of system, like pure system in which no exchange of keys, such as Stago keys, or not. But this is considered not much secure, because both sender and receiver rely on the fact that there is no other party involved. Whereas in secret key steganography require exchange of a secret key or a stego key before starting your communication. So takes a cover message and embeds the secret message inside by using a secret key, stego key. Only the private parties know about it. So like a cryptography, you send the key to the your recipient, and key, and then recipient using that key get the information. uh, Public key steganography uses private and public key. These techniques were also available in cryptography. If you remember that there we also have symmetric and asymmetric strategies. As we have studied symmetric strategies of cryptography, and next we will be studying asymmetric strategies. So this is actually the asymmetric, where the public key steganography comes, that uses private and public key to secure the communication between the parties. So sender uses a public key during the encoding process, and private key to decipher the secret text, or get the secret information back. So these are the three strategies we normally consider in steganography. So this slide shows the comparison between steganography and watermarking. So you can, in steganography, changes the image in a way that only the sender and the intended recipient are able to detect. So this is already planned, that where the changes will be made. So both the parties are aware about that, so they can detect easily. Watermarking information which verifies is embedded into digital image or a signal. These could either be audio, video, or pictures. Steganography, this is typically visible, and watermarking is of two types. This is visible, this is either visible or invisible. I'll explain that in my coming slides. You can see that now we have three strategies of information hiding, like cryptography, steganography, and watermarking. So these are the three strategies used for information hiding in to make your communication secure. Now let's start with lecture number 14, on the topic watermarking. Now, first of all, what is the importance of watermarking? For example, if you consider there is a picture in green. For example, if you assume that this is a picture, and attacker says this is mine and owner says this is mine, so now there is conflict of interest. And how the this conflict will be resolved? So if because both the parties, they are saying that this is mine, and you don't have any mechanism to verify, so how you can do that? So the answer of this question is watermark. That if you watermark this picture, so then this picture can show that who is the owner of this picture. So watermarking can answer the question, whose is this, how to know, what is the solution of this ownership problem. So the solution is watermarking. So if you have watermark this picture, so then this picture can show, or this picture can tell us that that who is the owner of this picture. So a picture uh, can itself informs that I belong to that honor. So this is the importance of watermarking. Now, what the watermarking is used to verify the identity and authenticity of the owner in the digital image. And you may also call that watermarking is the process in which in which the information which verifies the owner is embedded into digital image or a signal. These signal could either be video, pictures, or audio. For example, famous artists watermark their picture and images. If someone tries to copy the image, the watermark copied along with the image. So later on, you can verify that who is the author or who is the owner of this picture. Now, this is a block diagram. This is the first diagram shows embedding, and second diagram shows extraction. So here you can see that the original image is sent to the watermarking algorithm. So the process of embedding will be done on it, and this is the watermark which you want to place in this original image. So and this is the key which you want to store if you have. So this is the key. This will be embedded in it, and you will get a watermark digital image. So now this watermark digital image will be sent to the process of extraction on the recipient side, and using the key which is already communicated to the intended recipient, can identify or extract that information and get the original image. So this is how original image will be received. Now, attributes of watermarking. So imperceptibility, not viewed or visible. This is one of the attributes, that this is not be visible. Like you have a watermark, but this will not be visible. I'll explain that in my coming slides. And robustness, this is another property or attribute of watermarking, cannot be taken out easily. So resistance to any kind of attack. So if you call that watermark is robust, so this means that the watermark information cannot be retrieved easily. Security, how easy to remove the watermark? So as you know that we normally we try to make it hard for the attacker to get this information, so no adversary can get it. So if you stick with this rule that that your adversary or malicious user will not get the watermark information out of your image or a picture, so we call that you have a secure communication. Now, complexity, this is another attribute of watermarking. To be considered in real real-time application like video, amount of effort needed to extract or retrieve watermark and cannot be understood easily. So this is, we call it as a complex. And capacity, amount of data is embedded. More data embedded, it will be less robust. As you know that if you insert more data into more data as a watermark into original image, so you can say that this can get the attention of your malicious user, that there is something is this image, and he get the attention, and then he will try to apply a different mechanism on it to get the watermark information inside it. Verification, need verification. Exactly, if a user wants to get the information, he will be verified first before the access is granted to the information. Now, types of watermarking. There are different types of watermarking, like visible watermarking, as the name refers to the information visible on the image or video or picture. Visible watermarking are typically logos or text. For example, in a TV broadcast, the logo of the broadcast is visible right side of the screen. So you call it as a visible watermarking. In invisible watermarking, as in name refer to adding information in a video, picture, audio as a digital, not visible or perceivable. So such information are not visible, but it can be detected by different means or using different kind of softwares. It may also be a form of type of steganography and is used for widespread use. It can be retrieved easily. Note, perceptible watermark are more robust than imperceptible one. Now, private watermarking. So, in private, user cannot authorize to detect a watermark. Need, as this is private, need original data. If you want to access the content, so you need original data, and you need the key as well, known as security. This is also known as a secure watermark, and necessary to have security key. If you have a key, then you can access this private watermark, because this is private. But in public watermark, user of the content are authorized to detect watermark. Neither original data or nor embedded watermark is needed to get the information. Retrieve, anyone uses the specified algorithm. If you have the algorithm, you can retrieve it. There is no use of key, as this is public. Symmetric watermarking, same key, as his name indicates, as we have studied symmetric cryptography, if you remember. So same key was used for encryption and decryption. Similarly, we have the same keys are used for embedding and detecting watermarks. So this is symmetric. Whereas in asymmetric watermarking, different keys are used, like we have asymmetric techniques in cryptography. So we will be studying in our next lectures. So there we use different kind of keys. One is a private key, another is a public key. Public key is used for encryption, and a private key used for decryption in cryptography. Whereas in watermarking, different keys are used. So you have a public key and private key. So public key will be used for embedding, and private key will be used for detecting watermarks. Robust watermarking, modification of watermark content will not affect the watermark. Difficult to remove from the object in which embedded. So as this is robust watermarking, so this is not be easy to get the watermark from the original image. Fragile watermark, watermark get destroyed when watermark content is modified or tampered with. So then your original data will be destroyed. Stenography, watermarking, user unaware of the presence of watermark, user in fragile printing application. Non-steganography watermarking, user aware of the presence of a watermark, used to detect privacy. So these were the types of watermarking. Now, applications of watermarking used for copyright protection, as I've shown in my previous slides. That, for example, if you have a problem of copyright or a data protection inside your image, so uh, in such kind of applications, you can use watermarking technology. So used for copyright protection, used for source tracing. So you can use watermarks for tracing source. um, Annotation of photographs, broadcast monitoring. So normally these are the applications of watermark. There are some other, but I have chosen those applications which reaches to the crux of this concept. Now, this slide shows the difference between watermarking and steganography. So, scope of watermarking is provide ownership, and steganography scope is hide secret information. Input data, image or video or a multimedia. This can be an input to your embedding algorithm. And steganography, any digital data can be input to your algorithm. Secret data, watermark, and in here secret data is your payload. Output data, watermark data, and secret stago data is in steganography. Protection given to the original image while given to the secret. Here the protection is given to the secret information. Imperceptibility requires only for the visible watermark techniques, and where in steganography this is highly required. Robustness, I have explained this term in detail in my previous slides. So highly required in watermarking, robustness, because we cannot we normally we normally try to make our information such that intruder or malicious user will not get that information easily. And in steganography this is desirable. Payload capacity, this is moderate in watermarking, because this cannot be too high. If this is high, so this will get the attention of the malicious user that there is something wrong in that. And steganography, this is very high, payload capacity is very high in that. Challenges, these are the challenges: high robustness and good imperceptibility. And challenges of stenography are good imperceptibility, and highly payload capacity. So these are the challenges, and researchers and they are working on these challenges to improve it, to make it more efficient. Now, this is the summary. Watermarking, so what the watermarking is now. So watermarking is a process in which information verifies the owner is embedded into digital image or a signal. So this signal could either video, picture or audio. Stenography is, whereas in stenography is changing the image in a way that only sender and intended recipient are able to detect message sent through it. Watermarking is of two: visible and invisible. I explained these types in detail. Steganography is typically visible. So this was a summary of watermarking. So these are the sources which I have cited. You can go through them and find them more about this topic if you find something confusing. So if you have any question, you can ask me through KCMS or WhatsApp group, or you can email me. You can get my email at the bottom of this slide. So I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So it brings us to the end of this lecture. So till next lecture, Allah Hafiz.